if you have few friends, or no friends at all. This video is not here to judge you. Psychology suggests something most people never hear. Having fewer friends doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It often means your mind works differently, in ways that are rare and deeply misunderstood.
People with few friends are often misunderstood. They're labeled as cold, distant, or antisocial. But psychology paints a very different picture. In many cases, people who spend long periods alone aren't broken or damaged. They're more aware of themselves, more sensitive to their environment, and far more selective about where they invest their energy. If social life has always felt draining, shallow, or strangely unnecessary to you, there are real psychological reasons behind that. The first rare trait is this. You have zero tolerance for fake people. You notice masks instantly, forced smiles, hidden intentions, conversations that feel performative instead of real. Psychology shows that as self-awareness increases, tolerance for inauthentic behavior drops sharply. While others can ignore manipulation or gossip, your brain detects it immediately. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's why being around the wrong people feels exhausting to you. Not because you hate people, but because you value authenticity. You would rather be alone than surrounded by people who don't mean what they say. You're not antisocial. You're protecting your peace. The second trait is your preference for depth over quantity. You don't avoid relationships. You avoid surface-level ones. Small talk drains you, not because you're awkward, but because it lacks meaning. How's the weather? How was your weekend? These conversations feel repetitive and emotionally empty. You want to talk about ideas, psychology, human behavior, purpose, and what actually makes life meaningful. But those conversations are rare. So instead of forcing connections that feel shallow, you choose solitude until something real appears. For you, fewer connections don't mean loneliness. They mean standards. The third trait is often misunderstood. Social interaction drains your energy faster than most people. Psychology calls this high social sensitivity. Your nervous system processes more emotional and social information at once. You notice tone changes, body language, unspoken tension. While extroverts gain energy from being around people, every conversation costs you something. Not because you dislike people, but because your brain works harder during social contact. That's why after socializing, you need solitude to recover. For you, being alone isn't loneliness. It's rest. It's regulation. It's how your nervous system resets itself. The fourth rare trait is strong independence. You don't rely on external validation to feel complete. You can entertain yourself, think deeply, solve problems alone. Instead of needing a crowd around you, you build a stable inner world. Psychology shows that people like this tend to develop strong internal security. You don't chase approval. You don't need constant reassurance. This can make you seem distant or hard to read. But in reality, it's a quiet kind of strength. You don't need others to define your worth. The fifth trait comes from experience. People with few or no friends often share one thing in common: a past that taught them to be cautious. Betrayal, disappointment, emotional neglect. Psychology shows that once trust is broken, the brain becomes protective. You don't rush connections anymore. You observe longer. You test people quietly. This creates what psychologists call a high trust threshold. Very few people earn access to your inner world, not because you're closed off, but because you've learned the cost of letting the wrong people in. Here's something most people never realize. People who spend time alone often have a richer inner world, stronger intuition, deeper self-awareness, greater emotional intelligence. While others are distracted by noise, you spend time thinking, reflecting, and understanding yourself. Sometimes, the strongest minds walk alone. If you have few friends, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means your mind works differently, with more awareness, more sensitivity, and higher standards. And that's not a weakness. It's a rare trait.